Why is there a barrier for men? Why should I cover my face when I'm crying?
The real conversation is what happens after they become vulnerable.
How do you handle that? Like emotions are meant to be like shared and shown.
There's a tendency for men to suck things up, keep things to themselves, not express what they feel.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your response to pressure?
Men, we grew up with that pressure. We have a generation of people that have the wrong definition of who they are.
What does being a man mean to you?
Hi guys, welcome back to Unfolding with LG, where we have honest conversations about life, growth, and everything in between. Today's episode is with a special person. It's a very special one for me. I am sitting with someone who is more than a guest. He's like a brother to me. Someone I deeply respect for his wisdom, his perspective on life, and the way he carries himself as a man. This is not just a conversation, it's a real, honest look into many and the making of a man. The pressures, the lessons, the growth, and the things we don't always talk about. Let's get into it.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for sitting with me today. I appreciate your time coming all the way from United Kingdom to be on my podcast. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. The pleasure is mine. So today we want to get into a very deep conversation that we don't talk about enough out there.
Okay.
And I would love for you to come with your wholeness, like your
Okay.
full self, and give it to me. Talk to me about something that we don't usually, because we see a lot of men don't be vulnerable enough, when it comes to speaking up, being outspoken about life, about so many things that you all juggle together, as opposed to how women open up to, responding to pressure or societal whatnot, all the vavavoom that happens in the real world. So for that reason, I want to ask you this. What does being a man mean to you today?
Being a man to me means being accountable. It means taking leadership. It means driving behaviors that conform to the highest standards of morals. Being a man for me, it's about accountability. And ultimately, I think for me, it's also leadership in the right angle. Because what we have over time is there's been an obscure definition of who a man is or what a man is. And those definitions over time has shaped a generation of men where we have a generation of people that have the wrong definition of who they are. They have a wrong mindset of who they should be and how they should do things. So for me, ultimately, being a man, it speaks to accountability. It speaks to leadership. It speaks to ownership. It speaks to you being fully responsible for the actions and inactions that you take. That's for me, is what being a man is.
Thank you so much. That is so powerful. There is a lot of pressure on you men out there on what you should conform with, or you should present yourself as men. And I feel like we don't talk about that enough. Let me ask you this. I need you to talk to me about if you've ever felt pressure, or if you've ever been pressured into being a man or assuming the manly position that's, of course, that the society wants to see these days.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the society as we know, there's a minimum they expect just because you're a man. The society as we know has expectation of the boy child. There's this clear pressure that comes just because you are a man. Everyone feels this pressure in different ways. Many times there's this pressure to succeed. There's this undue pressure to be available. There's this superpower they expect of you as a man. And I do think society deliberately, maybe not, maybe puts that pressure on the boy child right from when they are born, and it starts even from the very home that people are born. You hear things like, "You cannot do this because you're a man. You should do
Ooh,
this." So there's this conscious,
that's a common
yeah, it's
phrase.
like a programming that goes into you right from birth. So you grow up thinking, "I was told you can't do this because you're a man." Nobody takes time to explain why you shouldn't do it. It's just more like you
Because
cannot,
you're a
yeah.
man.
So,
That's it.
and with that, we have people grow up thinking that's how we do it. That's how we did. Our parents did it, but nobody interrogates those decisions and those actions to say, is there any reason why we are doing it this way? Is there, those are some of the hard conversations we should be having. Is there any reason why we are doing it? Can somebody explain to me why I wouldn't do it because I'm a man? So we have people grow up, they are shut up, they don't, they can't express themselves, they don't know why they are doing what they are doing.
Right.
They've just been told this is how you do it because
It's
you're a
like
man.
it's a format that you have to follow.
Yeah. So that format breeds pressure because the moment you think you are doing the opposite, you are seen in a different light. And that's why you have a generation of people now that the super great guys are deemed to be something else, when in reality that's the real definition of being a man. But the pressure to be terrible, the pressure to be a wrong definition of who a man is what people have lived with over years. And that pressure keeps on with us. As men, we grow up with that pressure. Personally, there's that pressure every single day to be financially responsible, to be everything.
A
You
provider.
should be everything, which is good because there is no crime in being ambitious because the men are trained to be ambitious. It's a pressure that is put on them and somehow they live up to it. But that's also enables certain form of criminalities you see because we tend to measure success from the standpoint of financial reward. So people just go out of their way. There's a pressure to perform, there's a pressure to succeed, and it's more about the end justifies the means.
Right.
You just want to
Right.
have it, and people don't care
How you
how
got
you get
there.
it.
How you got
And it's
there.
a function of pressure. But ultimately, I would always say, when I said for me, being a man is speaks to accountability.
Right.
So the society can put pressure on you, but how you respond for me is much, much important because everybody has a reason to do terrible things.
Right.
But your response
To it.
is what matters.
To
So you
pressure.
cannot hide under the fact that there's pressure. There
There's
would always be
pressure.
pressure.
How
But
do you
your
respond
response
to
is
it?
what I hold you accountable
I
for.
love that. I will take that away. Your response to pressure. And it's not, you see, pressure is not just a manly thing, just to generalize it. Pressure is a general thing.
Absolutely.
Pressure is a general thing. It's not just a manly thing because why do we have the word peer pressure? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do we have the word peer pressure? Because it's a general thing. Anybody can be peer pressured. Now, like you said, how you respond to it is what matters. That's the ultimate matter, the ultimate goal to the whole situation. How do you respond to pressure? Someone will always give you pressure
Yeah.
financially, socially, anyhow way. You will always get pressured, but
Yeah.
what's your response to pressure?
So for me, the journey to dealing with pressure from the outside is knowing what you want
Right,
and defining what you want and how you want them. So because these pressures would always come,
right,
but you must decide what's important for you at every point in time. I do not allow external pressure. The pressures can be coming. I see them as noise. I filter it out. What's important to me? What do I need to achieve? So it's about me setting the goals for myself rather than meeting people's expectations.
I love that.
Because
I love that.
because I think someone said recently that the crowd you are trying to perform for, they are never gonna be impressed.
Nope.
So the more you do that, it's like chasing shadows. You never catch it. So I personally, I deadened the noise. I quietened the noise. I set my goals for myself based on what's important to me, and it is those things that are important to me that drive the things I do. So because once I hit that, I'm fine.
Amazing, amazing, and I hope that someone learns from that. That was a very powerful response to how you respond to pressure, and I love it so much. Let me ask you this. Did you have a mentor growing up that shaped the kind of mentality that you have? It's been this kind of admirable young man. Did you have a mentor? Was there
Absolutely.
anyone you looked up to?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I think as men, the first set of people we interact with growing up
Our father.
shapes our mindset. So for me, the first role model I had was my dad.
Hmm.
And that's because I grew up in in a home where there was clear demonstration of love. You could tell what it means because I grew up seeing father that was responsible, he was a provider. He would go out of his way, over and beyond, just to make
Nice.
sure that what his family needs gets to them. So that shapes your mind to say, okay, this is how things are done. I also grew up seeing my father at the time, as busy as he was, he comes back home from work and is doing some of the domestic chores in the
Oh,
house. And he
nice.
says things like, the reason I do this is so you know that it's not a crime to do them.
Exactly.
So that's the kind of environment I grew up. And that shaped my mindset as to, okay, this is how it should be. Now, if I'd grown up in a place where it was the opposite, I would assume it's the other way of doing things.
Basically.
So that was the first role model I had. And then by the time I got into uni, I had another role model, which was my lecturer at the time, who now happened to be my course advisor. It was someone that people feared a lot. Everybody was scared of him. People just did not understand him.
Right.
They felt his courses were too difficult. But as we got closer, because of my project work, there's something I learned, which was he would always say, you need to let people know that with or without them, you will get things done.
Whoa.
So that alone pushes you to say, okay, you know what?
Now I'm gonna do it.
Yes, you're accountable for your actions, you're accountable for responsible for your result, and you cannot keep holding on to say because this person is not there, that person is not there. That's why so there is really always an excuse for failures. So, but you knowing that with or without anyone, you will get things done. And that's why you can't hold me to ransom. I would always get things done with or without anyone, no matter how. So clearly, those two people shaped my perception about who a man should be. And like I said, from my dad's perspective, I saw what it means to be responsible. I saw what it means to be accountable. I saw what it means to actually be that man that I should be.
Yeah.
And from my lecturer when I was in school, I saw what it means to be ambitious and being a go-getter, knowing that no obstacle is enough, nothing should hold you. As long as you want to do it, just go do it and you do it.
And that's not because you're a man.
Yeah.
It's just because as a person, as an individual,
Yeah.
these are the kind of disciplines that you should instill in yourself if you know that you want to get somewhere in life.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying that to say that being a man does not necessarily mean that you should put some kind of burden on top of yourself, like upon yourself, saying, oh, because I'm a man. No, because what you're doing as a man as well, the pressure can also be on women as well. Say, oh, you two go and get this done, so that you can be a better person for yourself. And that makes me want to ask you, since you learned all of these things, I'm sure you didn't just see all the good parts. You didn't just see all the lessons, all the great things from these people that were your mentors, your dad and your lecturers. Were there things that you learned back then that you unlearned or you're still trying to unlearn? And what's the trigger that is getting you to unlearn those things?
So for me, the people I call my role models, my focus is usually on the things they do that I love. And because that's my focus,
I love that.
that's what my brain picks, and that's what I see. So every time they do things, I'm seeing the things I love, not necessarily the things that are not doing well. Over time, benefit of hindsight, you look back and you be like, okay, I think one of the things you would have seen, for example, like my dad was somebody that was kind to a fault, and as fantastic as being kind was, so what I've done is to improve. And what I mean improve, I mean, because when I know better, I know that as much as I'll be kind I'm not going to be kind to the detriment of myself or my immediate family. So those are some of the things I had to unlearn, because sometimes you can be kind to a fault and it hurts you in the process. So understanding that, okay, be kind, but don't be kind to the point where you hurt yourself.
You hurt
It's something
yourself.
I had to unlearn with time. And even while in school, some of the interactions I had with some of my lecturers, like I mentioned, that some people didn't understand. And it's also because at that point in time, I learned one of the things that I learned over time or unlearned was that you must understand that everybody responds differently, and we all have different processing times.
Right.
So I should not assume that everybody will understand what I'm doing part time. So some of the things I learned was my expectations of people, as great as they are, I would always leave room
Right.
for a bit of error, such that I don't get so much disappointment.
Humanly
Yes,
error. Anything can happen.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
people are not perfect. No one is perfect. So,
Absolutely.
like I said with one of my guests, you always have to like give grace. Like give grace, even if it's one time. Give grace, and give grace not just for mistakes or errors. Give grace for things that people can do without even them knowing it.
Absolutely. And that's why like your podcast is unfolding. So people would always unfold. There's
Yeah.
different
Yeah,
versions.
you're
So you
always
must-
we and we
yeah.
are as humans, we are always unfolding. You see, the name unfolding was a name that I thought about so carefully, because I was careful about like what I wanted to put out there. I was careful about what I wanted people to come to my podcast to discuss, because we are all an unfinished business.
Absolutely.
We are all still discovering ourselves. There is no finished complete person until we go down 6 feet. We are still a work in progress.
Absolutely.
You see what I mean? So no matter how much money you have made or how much titles you have acquired for yourself in life, you are still unfolding each phase of your life. And that's how that name came to birth. I love that. So let's talk about emotions.
Okay.
We hear a lot that men are not supposed to show emotions.
Yeah.
We see men that become like very manly out of the fact that even though they're going through a lot, they still do not want to show that emotion for us to see that, oh, I'm dying inside or a lot is going on. How did you handle, or how are you handling that part of you as a man that the public expects, or your family and friends expect you to be? Like they will say, you are a man, you can't cry. You are a man, when things happen, you have to step up. You are a man. This everything still boils down to the fact that you're a man and you shouldn't show emotions. How do you handle that? Like emotions are meant to be like shared and shown. Why is there a barrier for men?
Being
That's
vulnerable.
why should I cover my face when I'm crying? Why can't I cry like everyone else in public? How do you handle that emotion?
Okay, so for me, I'll just start from where you ended, which is there's a tendency for men to suck things up, keep things to themselves, not express what they feel.
Right.
And I do think that, or I would say, I don't think men are afraid to be vulnerable. I don't think they are scared of being vulnerable.
Vulnerability.
The real conversation is what happens after they become vulnerable.
Hmm.
That's what
How
drives
do people receive it? How do they perceive them?
So that's what drives people inside. Because a lot of times when we say people are not vulnerable, when we say men are not vulnerable, men cry.
Yeah.
But the question is, where do they cry? So it's always at the point where they are comfortable. There's always this fear of judgment, blame, and you would run off any of those kind of instances. For me, I as much as I love to be very vulnerable, over time you process the things you want to say and how you want to say it. And that's coming from the standpoint where if this goes out, there are two things involved. If you get blamed for it, you don't want to continue. And the natural response of anyone is to blame you.
Right.
And there's this thing I say to my friends every time. When an accident happens, the first thing you do is first aid. So when somebody is being vulnerable, that moment is not a moment for
Blames or judging.
at that point what you need is first aid. But
Right.
men don't ever get that first aid treatment. And that's why you see them withdraw and suck things up. And if we check, these people that are not vulnerable are still vulnerable to others. So, bottom line, they are vulnerable, but they're not vulnerable to the right people. And what I mean right people, I mean their spouses, their partners.
Right.
You have people vulnerable to their friends.
Friends.
You have people talk to even their side chicks if they have. But the real conversation is, why are we creating environments where men cannot be safe?
Yeah.
Because it's really about the fear of what happens after vulnerability.
And that's a
That's what you
conversation that if we get into, we would not leave that
Certainly.
topic. It's a whole topic on its own
Certainly.
because men cry.
We do.
Men do go through stuff.
We do.
There is a very general problem. Should I take it back and say not say general? But there is a common problem amongst the girl child when they say a girl got abused. Boys get abused too, even sometimes more.
Yeah.
And when these things happen, they expect that you're a boy, you enjoyed it because you're a boy. You shouldn't react. You shouldn't say you were abused because you also you took part in it. You were a part of it, which is still abuse.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's where the society misses it. Because the society expects, just like you're asking, why is the boy child not vulnerable? Why are they not speaking up? But the same society doesn't even expect their vulnerability. They don't. Because if somebody comes out to say things, I've seen people say things like being vulnerable with their situations, and what do you get? Backlash. So the same society that expects vulnerability is actually not ready. So I think it's more about
Performative, yeah.
So you're just saying things because you want to
You
say
want to
them.
be right.
Yeah. But reality is you don't even expect it, because if you do expect it, there would be support system in place. There will be that, every time somebody is vulnerable, like I said, if accident happens, it's first aid. Somebody is vulnerable, it means they are the lowest of the low. You don't want a situation where people are pounding on you.
No.
So if the society really, really wants people that are openly, everyday, vulnerable to the right people,
Right.
because these vulnerabilities are always to the wrong people.
Yeah, to friends who are of like minds, and then they really have no solution to your problems than
They
to
indulge
let's go
you.
get a drink, let's go, and from getting a drink, things happen.
Naturally, they will indulge you.
They
to
will
do the
indulge
things
you.
do.
Exactly. They will
And
indulge
so
you.
ultimately, I think spouses, families should create that safe space.
Safe space.
And it starts by not blaming people for whatever
Not
reason.
judging them.
At that instance, blame doesn't solve anything. You drive them away. Because if you've been vulnerable once and you get a blame, you don't come back next time.
No.
You deal with it in your mind.
You definitely
on
won't
your
come
head.
back. Yeah.
And so that's the real problem.
I completely agree with you, and thank you so much for that. And I hope men listening to you right now learn to be vulnerable in the right places or to the right people. And I hope that their spouses, partners, families, and friends create that safe space for them to be vulnerable, because these men are crying and suffering in silence just because they don't have someone to open up to, and they go open up to their friends who will just say, "Mo, go drink beer, let's go get a bottle," and that's it. And the problem doesn't go away. Even after that bottle of beer, you still go back to it and still have no one to actually genuinely speak about it with. So it's not going anywhere. And this makes me want to ask you, when was the last time, since you're a very strong believer of vulnerability for men and you're speaking and saying, okay, yes, men should be vulnerable and should be able to have a safe space
Yeah.
to be vulnerable. When was the last time as a man that you were vulnerable, and how did that feel?
Yeah, so for
Were you
me,
accepted? Were you
yeah, of
dismissed
course.
or what?
Yeah, so for me, every single day I talk about every issues about myself every single day. But I think the biggest moment would be in 2022. Yeah, early on 20. There was this thing I was trying to solve in my head, as always. As we tried to, I tried to solve it every day. I was doing maths in my head, a lot of things. I'll go to the pub. I'll be thinking solutions, and those solutions were just lying in my wife's hands. And I think when I got to a point where there was no solution anymore, I was like, there's this thing, this big issue, this has been troubling me. And in the space of 1 week after I spoke to her, solutions came.
Solutions came.
So sometimes, at that time, it was easy for me to speak up. Now, like I said, if at the point where I said that,
You were judged.
if I got blamed, oh, you could have said it earlier, I'm never going to come
You
back
will
again.
withdraw.
So the moment I said that, she was like, "Oh, okay. I'll call this. I'll do this. I'll do that." And 1 week solution.
Wow.
And so for me, that was very, very liberating.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it gives you reason to come back
Right. Right.
because you're accepted. You were not judged. Nobody blamed you for anything. You could still get the blame later.
Yeah.
After we've solved the problem, no problem. But at that instance, I didn't get any blame.
Right.
I didn't get any judgment. It was about solution. There's a problem. Let's fix the problem, and then let's move on.
And to add to that, of course, your wife is a sweet person, and I'm so happy that she was able to provide a solution to that situation. But that's not to also say that if she wasn't able to provide a solution, that you still would not appreciate being vulnerable to her and
Of course not.
her being able to listen. You know, the listening part of it alone
Yeah.
eases you
Yeah.
somewhat.
Absolutely.
Like you feel some kind of light burden, like, you know, every burden lifted off your shoulder if you have someone who is listening to you and if you're being heard. That
agree.
alone is should be appreciated, and that's me saying that there might not always be a solution from the person who you have, but that person might have other people, like you said, she made some calls, might have other people that would have that solution, and
Yeah.
that doesn't stop you from being vulnerable to that your safe space, because honestly, men should see their, unless the wife is toxic now, men should see their wives as their safe space first. My school of thought, first your safe space should be your partner, because who would know you any better?
Yeah. Just like you said, I agree. It's not always about solutions. So when people are vulnerable, what they are looking for is really not solution. They just want somebody to hear them and not judge them.
Exactly.
So the success in itself is being heard and not being judged.
Right.
So regardless of if solutions come or not, the fact that you're heard and you're not judged is victory.
Yeah.
And you said something around spouse being the first person. So ultimately, that's what it should be, but that's not what
That's not
the
what it
reality
is.
is. So it's about finding what is making that reality not possible. And that if that reality is not happening, there's something is missing. It is finding that link and bridging that gap. And it starts by having this conversation. And as a man, you should have those conversations to say, oh, this is what I notice. And this is why I don't speak to
Right.
you. So if you have those conversations, the other person knows what it is they're not doing well and they need to improve. But if you don't have those hard conversations and you avoid it, you would just have problems on your neck for no reason.
Exactly. And the person would not know, like,
know.
and honestly, some women just go crazy and not give you solutions, and you say something, their first response instinct for response is just to yell and scream. Does not necessarily mean it comes from a place of harm or whatnot, even though sometimes it can be. But in some situations, if you don't sit down to know what
Yeah.
this person or where this person is coming from, you wouldn't know the intentions or
I agree.
what exactly the issue is. And yeah, that's a very beautiful response. Thank you for that. I want to ask you this. Knowing all of this, do you think that men are scared, or men don't feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable? Or do you also feel like what we call strength is exaggerated or misunderstood,
Yeah.
in the sense that a man is supposed to be strong, a man is supposed to be seen to be like, comport yourself, don't, even though those things can be seen or perceived as strength,
Yeah.
is a strong man.
Yeah. Yeah, so absolutely. Men are not scared to be vulnerable. And the real problem is being judged after moment of vulnerability. And speaking to strength, I think over time, as you grow, you understand that your definition of strength is not what strength is. What we have is avoidance disguised as strength. What we have is suppressing your emotions disguised as strength. Strength is you being who you really should be. Strength is demonstrated in being open, and your emotional strength is you choosing calmness in the midst of chaos. And that's not you avoiding things. That's because in the midst of chaos, you choose to be calm. That's strength. A lot of times, what we now have is there's isolation, people just withdraw into shell and think it's strength. No, that's not being strong. That's just you not knowing that your show of emotions is proof that you have strength. So because only the strong would express what's in their mind. So the fact that you are suppressing what you should be speaking about is proof to me that you're not strong. Because if you're strong enough, you speak about it, let's deal with it. Keeping it in your mind is the other way around, because that thing is what's suppressing you, not you.
And it's not going away. The more you
It's-
keep it,
it's
the
never
more
gonna
it
work.
still keeps hanging there and
never gonna
lingering
work, yeah.
until
Never
you
gonna go away.
address it.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Let me ask you about commitment.
Yeah.
You're married, you have a beautiful wife and kids. What does commitment mean to you in a marriage or in a partnership? Like, what do you feel like surrounds that word? I am committed to my home, to my wife, to my kids. What does it entail? It cuts across like so many facets. Like, we can take it that way and bring it back this way. What does it mean to be committed to your, now I don't want to say to your wife,
Yeah,
because
commitment as a
your
whole.
wife is now would be like a body on her own.
Yeah.
Because you have kids and all of that. What does commitment means to you as being committed to your home?
So for me, commitment for me is showing up every single day, whether it's convenient or not.
Love it.
Commitment for me is knowing that I deliberately chose to become a husband. I chose to become a father. So it's not something that was lumped on me. It was my decision.
Your decision.
And being a man speaks to accountability. So commitment for me is showing up every single day, doing those things that I should be doing in terms of ensuring my home is safe, my home is properly catered for. I'm responsible for every single outcome in my home. There's nothing called, oh, that person should have done it. No, because ultimately I'm accountable
Right.
for my family. So for me, commitment is when it's convenient, I'm showing up. When it's not, I'm showing up. When
Right.
I feel tired, I'm showing
You're
up.
still showing up
That's
regardless.
commitment. Is it easy? Certainly not. But because it's what you've chosen to do, and you have a spouse that is your helpmate,
Right.
that's gonna help you through. So it's not you trying to die in the process. No, it's just you showing up every single day. And one thing I know over time is that those days you show up, there's record. Everybody knows that you show up.
Yeah.
And on the days you are so weak, you would find help, knowing that consistently you show up. And the only reason you're not up now is because you couldn't be.
Yeah.
So people run away from responsibility And that's why you have so much shambles all over the place. You know, people avoid what they should be doing. They run off thinking they are doing someone else's favor. No, if you've chosen to be married, if you've chosen to have a home, you just have to show up.
You have
It's
to
not a
show up.
favor. It's what you have to do.
It's not a favor. I love that phrase. It's not a favor. It's not help. You're not helping no one.
Yeah.
You both decided to be in this marriage. There is no such thing as I am helping you.
Yeah. It's
I've heard that word. That's that word being used a lot of times. I am helping you.
Yeah, that-
I'm like,
I do-
help.
I do think that's because of when we started the conversation, it's about how people subconsciously get programmed. Things like
Takes us back
don't do
to
this,
that.
don't
Yeah.
do this, you shouldn't do this because so when they find themselves doing it, it comes across as help.
Help.
So there has to be a value orientation where people know that these are normal things to do.
Yeah.
I said I grew up in a home where the dad is engaged in domestic activities.
Exactly.
So when you see it, it means it's not help. It's
Yeah.
what you should do.
It's I don't mean to bring the whole gender thing into it right now, but domestic activities or stuff like that are no longer like a gender role,
Yeah.
especially living abroad, you know. Back home where we came from, Nigeria, where labor is cheap, you could get help and all of that, would have been different. Maybe you can get away with a lot of things as a man. But abroad, where we know clearly that getting help would take a significant lump, chunk, heavy amount out of your paycheck, what stops you from being part of the whole thing?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So there are absolutely no gender roles. There are things that are easier for the other person to do than the other. But it's nothing. I know friends that cook very well. I don't know how to cook. I
Oh,
can't
that's
cook for
okay.
my life. But because I don't know how to cook does not mean I don't know how to do other things.
Correct.
So, and ultimately, it's about bringing. For me, I don't subscribe to the school of thought where people are rationing things. Oh, you do this, I do that. No, for me, you bring 100% of yourself to anything you can do.
Right.
So there's no, because the moment you start saying, I did this yesterday, you do it today, you lose the whole essence. 100% of anything, just bring your 100%.
Yeah.
Part time. So it's not, there's no gender roles.
There's
But
no
if
gender
your
roles.
strength is in this, you're doing it. If my strength is in this, I'll be doing it. Of course, while you're doing that, I don't know how to do it. Even if it means just hanging around you, hyping you while you do it, I'll still be there. I'm not going to leave you to it all alone.
Exactly. At least that presence alone self is something, you know. It's something, and that's amazing. So let me ask you, there is a general saying that men will always be men. And also a general saying that all men cheat.
Yeah.
All men cheat in the sense that there is not, because there is that word now, all, not excluding anyone.
Yeah.
So if the general saying is that all men cheat,
Yeah.
what is your take on that?
Yeah. So when you say all men, a lot of times when people say all men cheats, these are just random statements. There are no data backing these
No
statements.
facts.
And even if you dig deep and you do a deep dive, you could say yes based on what they know. And people that say these things might even say they don't do it. So if they say they don't do it, how is it an all conversation?
Exactly.
It doesn't change the fact that a vast majority of men are on the spree. So there's so much irresponsibility on the part of people out there, but it doesn't mean it's all, because it cannot be all, really. It cannot be all. There are people that don't even have the capacity to cheat if they wanted to. There are people that by design, biologically, they can't. So it certainly cannot be an all men stuff.
Yeah.
They could say yes, there's a pandemic of this happening,
Right.
and for most people that are believers or there are people that have consecrations and they've decided not
Right.
to. So those people certainly cannot fall into that. And the fact that their clique of friends or their clique are all on those journey, it doesn't mean, like I tell people, the fact that you're doing it does not mean all of us are doing it.
Mm-hmm,
You
exactly.
can own your bad habits
Mm-hmm.
and not try to lump us all over into it.
Right.
Because a lot of times when people make those statements, it's just a statement to appease their own conscience, to
Exactly.
say that, oh, we are not all
We're
doing
all
it.
the same.
We're not all the same. We certainly are not
Just to
weak.
make themselves feel good.
Yeah, it's
So
just
they
yeah,
generalize it.
yeah, it's a way
That's
to
what it
make
is,
people,
right?
you just feel like, okay, let's say this so that everybody, no, own your battle, be accountable for yourself. You can come out and say, this is who you are. We're not going to judge you for it. We can only ensure you come out of that.
Right.
But don't make blanket statements to say, oh, it's all. That's what I would say.
Beautiful, beautiful. Because I don't believe that all men cheat. I really believe that a certain category of men have chosen to be cheats, and does not generally mean that all of them are cheats. No, I don't believe in that. But it's just a general saying that I'm always curious about that. I like to ask every man or some reasonable, sensible men that I come across, is it true? Is this general saying? Is it legit that all men cheat? And yeah, thank you so much for that clarification. So I need you to please talk to me about forgiveness. In every marriage, there is no perfect marriage,
Yeah.
right? Neither is there a perfect partnership, especially in friendship as well. So not just marriage now, also in friendship. The word forgiveness, is it a must? Must we forgive ourselves when someone, like for example, now someone has hurt me so badly and I've done this to this person, you will meet me there. Do I necessarily have to forgive this person, knowing that what they've done or what they did hurt me so deeply, and I cannot get it off my mind? It would take me forever to even forget about it. Forgive and forget, like they
Yeah.
they mostly say. Is it compulsory that I must forgive somebody that I want to forget that they hurt me?
So, to answer your question in a very short answer, it's a must.
It's a must.
It's a must to forgive.
Biblically.
It's a must. So because if you are in a marriage, if you're in a relationship, and you want to be in it, you have to forgive.
The truth.
Forgetting, that is not anywhere in the world. There's
No such
nowhere
thing.
to forgive and forget. What happens is the moment you forgive, over time
You're ill.
it dissipates. But if you choose not to forgive and you are still holding on to it, it's more like you holding to that which hurts you. So if you want to be in it, then you have to forgive. And what forgiveness does is not necessarily about the person. Forgiveness frees you up yourself.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
because a lot of people are religious to an extent, they pray to God, and you can't be dealing with God with so much unforgiveness. And the best way to do this is have those hard conversations and say, oh, you did this on this. This is what you did to me. Because if you don't have those conversations to let go from your mind, you would be suffering. The other person will still be unbothered. So it's actually a must. For me, it's a must because I can't function properly if I don't release myself. I can't.
And I think I'm like that as well. Like I tend to forgive so easily and let go of things to the point that I even want to reach out to that person, even though they hurt me. Just because I want to let myself free from that shackle of, or that bondage of anger or something. Anger can be very destructive.
is
Like
very destructive.
you just keep that bottled up inside of you, and you begin to resent the person up until the point where it becomes hatred.
Yeah.
And when it becomes hatred, it's there's no going back.
Yeah. So that's the
There's
thing.
no
So
going
that's why I
back.
said, if you want to be in it, you don't have a choice. You have to forgive.
Yeah. You have
If
to.
you don't want to forgive, then you shouldn't be in that place.
You shouldn't be in
Yeah.
that place. You shouldn't be in that place. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Let me ask you a final question before I
Okay.
let you go. How do you manage friendship, family, and marriage?
Friendship, family,
I'll break it down.
marriage.
Yeah. There is a matter of fact, I'll have sub questions for each of
Okay.
them. Now, friendship in the sense that before you got married, you had a group of friends
Yeah.
that you guys used to do a lot of things together. Getting married now, you can no longer do certain things together with them anymore. How do you manage those people? And then how do you manage family in the sense that your mom, your siblings, your dad, and your spouse, your family? Because as we all know, your own family that you've built, they are now your nuclear family.
Absolutely.
The family that you came from
That's still your
now
family.
becomes your
Extended
extended family.
Absolutely.
So how do you put that
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm not done.
okay,
I'm not
go
done.
on.
How do you put that? How do you
Boundary.
boundary between my family,
Yeah.
my extended family now that I came from? Because
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do about that. That is what the Bible
Yeah.
has, told us, and that's what the English has explained to us.
Yeah.
That the family you came from becomes your extended,
Yeah.
even though there are more extended. Then your own family that you built,
It's nuclear family.
that you created, now becomes your nuclear family,
Yeah.
which I believe should be priority. And now there is mom, dad, which you love so much. You all love all of them so much, and you also love your family, your wife, and your kids. Then there is marriage. How do you juggle all of this? Because I know you're in the midst of everything together.
Yeah. So I think it starts by you knowing what's important to you. I remember when I said things about dealing with pressure, which is me setting my expectations for myself, not what people want. So it's easy for me because I know what's important to me. So I have my friends before I got married. There are things we do before we got married.
Right.
However, because I've chosen to marry, if they are my friends, they will respect the things that are important to me per time. So priority for me is my home. So if I allow my relationship with my friends to destroy my home, ultimately it's my home that will be destroyed.
Right.
Not theirs. So understanding what's important to you is the first thing. So for me, it's the easiest. All my friends know. If you call me up and I was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm home. I'm having time with my family," there's nothing you're gonna do about it, because for me, that's more important than anything else.
Right.
Back to the family, extended family. So the extended family bit starts by boundaries. You set the boundaries from the word go. A lot of times, what we have is people pander to different things. So if you have a home, it's your home. Part of your job is to keep your home. So you make the rules, you set the boundaries. There are things you should not accept. And personally, for me, I have boundaries that wherever you are, if you cross it, you get chopped off. It's as simple as that. So
Even if it's family.
there's nothing called even if.
Oh my
So
God! There's
because
nothing called
it's a
even.
boundary that exists. So whoever crosses it gets chopped off. So if a family chooses to cross it, it's not on me anymore, because the consequences of crossing that boundary is chopping off. I didn't push that person. That person chose to go over it. So you must, as a person, know that this is the boundary. You cannot disrespect anybody in my home. So because any disrespect to your nuclear family is disrespect to you.
To you.
So if they are family and they care about you, they're
They
not
know
going
not
to
to.
disrespect you.
They know
So,
not to.
but if you don't have those boundary lines, everybody would jump over it. So when you hear conversations online, sometimes you just begin to wonder, where does this start and end?
Exactly.
So for me, I have boundaries, and everybody knows. Everybody in my home know. Everybody in my family know. Everyone.
That's nice.
So it's as simple as you just know. You cross it, that's it.
That's
it's not
it.
me.
It's final.
It's your decision to cross it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's easy for me. It's the easiest because It's been set from beginning of time that I don't tolerate this. And it starts by the moment somebody tries it, you clear the person and draw that line that here I don't accept this. You either apologize or you are off. Because that's the first time. They probably didn't know.
Yeah.
The moment you do that,
Yeah.
the
And it
message
becomes
goes,
continuous.
yeah,
Okay.
so the message goes that
Yeah.
this is not acceptable. So they
Right.
stop. But if you encourage anything, you reward. If you incentivize anything, it will thrive.
To try.
So don't allow certain things because they wouldn't allow it.
Right.
So what we call family at the time. Was anybody disrespecting you in your home? No. So why do you not want to disrespect another person in their home? So that's the way it works.
Did anybody disrespect you in your home? So why are you disrespecting someone in their own home?
So-
That makes sense, like logical sense, because that's your home now. This
Yeah.
is that person's
Yeah,
home or
so-
my home. You can't bring that
Yeah.
because you won't tolerate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it
we
shouldn't
know
be a conversation at all.
we even know our parents, they did not used to tolerate nonsense.
Exactly.
So why would you now want to come and bring nonsense into my own
It's,
home?
it's because people are not drawing those lines.
Yeah.
And because there are no boundary. Where there is no law, there's no sin.
There's no sin.
So if you don't draw the boundaries, people will cross it.
True.
And in terms of managing marriage, like I said, knowing what's important.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, and my friends know it. I have a statement that I say every time. Whatever is not worth the peace in my home, I give that thing up. So if it's a relationship I'm having that is costing me peace in my home, I give up that relationship. Because for me, the marriage is important. So whatever it is, I've had situations where I've had to end relationships, I've had to end certain friendship because those friendships, those relationships, those actions were affecting my own home. So
And
it's-
home is where you get peace.
Exactly. So anything that is going to cost me peace in my home,
Right.
it's not worth it. So I give it up no matter what it is. Because ultimately, if I go to work, I'll be back home. The friends will be back home in their
Yeah,
own homes.
everyone goes to their respective
if you
homes.
end up allowing things, masculinity, ego, if you allow it destroy your home,
Yeah.
when you are in your late 50s, 80s, you'll be left all alone because everybody will be with their family.
Period.
So
You'll
decide
be
what's
left
important.
all alone by yourself because everyone has gone to their families, which is the truth.
priority is
I hope
key.
men are listening because the end justifies the means because a lot of men don't understand these boundaries that you've just explained, and I really do appreciate it. I love when a man is able to differentiate between my family, my nuclear family, and my friendships. Now, it does not matter what kind of friendship. Female friends, male friends, opposite gender, whatnot, you should be able to tell and say that this is what it is. I don't want you in my space. My partner is not comfortable with it. And they should be able to respect that.
Absolutely.
And that should also be the same for your extended families.
It's like that.
An insult on your nuclear family or an insult on your siblings, or I mean to say your children, is an insult on you as a person, as a man. And this brings me to want to close the conversation. And I would love for you to give us a very great takeaway for men out there that are still bottled up in their masculinity, saying, I'm a man, I'm not supposed to be vulnerable. I'm a man, I should be able to put things together or provide things and still die in silence. Men are providers, yes, but we're not expecting you to go and buy yourself because you want to be a provider.
Yeah.
You know, cut your material according to your whatever, how they say it. I
cut
don't
your
know.
code according to the size of a
Cause
material.
exactly, I don't, you know. So I mean, it's nice and sweet for a man to be a provider, but if it becomes something that is killing you, you should ask for help. And I hope that men know when to ask for help and not just continue to wallow in stress and struggles, because the longevity of your health or of your life also depends or lies on how you live your life.
I agree.
You know, you continue to give room for stress and all sort of unnecessary burden on yourself, high blood pressure, stroke,
reason.
so many things, health issues comes up, and then you can't help anymore.
Yeah.
You cannot provide anymore.
Yeah.
So I really would love for men to know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not have. It's okay to also have and give when you can at the same time.
Yeah.
Please give us a takeaway.
Okay, so for me, my final takeaway would be that men needs to know that isolation is not strength, and sucking up to yourself is not going to help you. You are not designed primarily to live life alone, and your decision to keep holding on to things is the reason that your lifespan is shorter. So you must make that conscious effort to say, you know what, integrate the things that you think you learned over time that are not right. The things you think makes you a man that is clearly counterproductive. You must interrogate them because a lot of things you've been holding on to are the very reason for your destruction. So learn to interrogate some of these things by asking questions. In strategy, they will tell you to ask question why 5 times so you can understand the beneath the surface. So a lot of times, don't hold on to things that are not data backed. Some of the beliefs, cultures, the mindset that you've had over time, there's no data anywhere supporting those things. So it's time to open up, speak up, ask for help when you need one.
Right.
Nobody's going to crucify you. And if it's a fear of being judged or being blamed, there'll be one person that won't judge you. So
Right.
you need to consciously seek out who to speak out to, such that ultimately we'll become better men. And as we go on, people will know that okay, truly, these are men that have been transformed over time.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for that powerful message. I hope it is well received by our men. And I hope that our men begin to open up some more and be vulnerable. It's okay. You know, you're human. You are more human than you are a man, to be honest. You are first a human before whatever makes you a man. So if we're all humans and we are okay to be vulnerable, what stops you because you're a man from being vulnerable? And if you want to be a great leader, you have to learn to show some traits that people can follow. And that's part of asking for help, being vulnerable, and whatnot. This has been such a powerful and honest conversation. And honestly, this is why I created Unfolding with Energy, to have real conversations like this that people can see for themselves and also see themselves in it, to learn from it and to grow through it. Thank you so much for coming on, Aaron.
Thank you so much, Vaji, for having me. It's been a
You're
great
very
time.
welcome. And you already know how much I respect you, and I'm grateful for your openness here today and for your wisdom.
Yeah, that's fine. You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you. And to everyone watching, remember, your story is still unfolding. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode.
To the woman I'm becoming, I see you.